Drank most of a bottle of NyQuil, so we'll see if this video even makes any sense to me when I watch it back tomorrow. What up, motherfuckers? How y'all doing? It's your boy, the man of STEELBOOK, and I am here. I'm not where I normally am, you can tell from the background. I'm in Atlanta, where drugs are not legal.
I can't even get real drugs here.
It's unfortunate, but I'm still indulging in a few vices here. I drank most of a bottle of NyQuil, so we'll see if this video even makes any sense to me when I watch it back tomorrow. Maybe this never sees the light of day. I'm having fun. I'm outside, so I can have a nice little... All right, but today, the business that I have to share with you is important business. I'm going to tell you all about the shit the Criterion is releasing in January of 2025. It feels so far off, and yet it'll be here before you know it. I got to buy Christmas gifts for my wife and 2 daughters. It's very daunting to me, but nonetheless, we can still look forward to Criterion releases. Ooh. Ooh. It's been a while since I went robo-tripping. I don't think my wife watches this. Anyway, let's talk about the Criterion releases for January. There are some exciting releases too, guys. So hold on to your butts. Let's check it out. First and foremost, maybe not foremost, but first, we have got Winchester 73 coming out on 4K and Blu-ray. Jimmy Stewart is in a Western from the year 1940. My dad was not even 1 year old yet. Jimmy Stewart plays a bit of an anti-hero here, apparently. The title refers to a rifle, a Winchester rifle that kind of passes from person to person. You know, each time somebody gets popped, somebody else takes the rifle, and it's like cursed or something like that, because then that motherfucker gets popped. So people getting murdered over the rifle. You don't want this rifle. You think you want this rifle, but then you get popped for it, and you learn that you didn't really want that rifle at all. We have a little bit of a Western as a rumination on the cyclical nature of violence, which is kind of appropriate, I think, for a Western, more so than a romantic comedy. I can't see like 40-Year-Old Virgin as a rumination on the cyclical nature of violence. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. But Rock Hudson is in this in a small role. It was before Rock Hudson became famous. And Tony Curtis, the father of Jamie Lee Curtis, is in this. And so, you know, I just want to let that be known. That might make a difference to some people who are into the classic Hollywood shit, like myself. Let me cut this cigar here real quick. The cutter still works. I'm visiting my parents. I stole this shirt from my dad. This is mine now, but this morning, this was my dad's. Now it's mine. Thanks, Dad. And I do like Jimmy Stewart. So Winchester 73, I like Jimmy Stewart. This is, you know, an earlier Western than The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which is probably like the go-to Jimmy Stewart Western, because it's a John Ford with the Duke, you know, the fucking guy. It's got the guy in it, you know, that other guy. Also coming out from Criterion in January, The Mother and the Whore, 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. You're going to get this on DVD, you son of a bitch. Who's buying The Mother and the Whore at Walmart on DVD? I don't get it. But, you know, Criterion knows their business model better than I do. So it's probably for the best that they're not listening to me. I'm just some asshole drinking NyQuil on the internet. What do you want from me? The Mother and the Whore came out in 1973. It's a film by a man named Jean Eustache. So his name sort of looks like mustache, but with an E instead of an M at the beginning. Eustache? I've got no idea how to pronounce this man's name, but it is what it is. It's a French film about French would-be intellectual dude who's fucking around on his girlfriend. It's the Frenchest shit you could possibly fucking imagine. It's more French than a baguette. It's very much the kind of film Criterion would publish. You can see this being like, this is Criterion. I know the French don't really do this, do they? It's more of an Italian thing, but whatever. If the French did this, they'd be doing it with like both hands, and the fucking Mother and the Whore. Tell you what. So this film is very well regarded. The Mother and the Whore is, you know, it's a big deal out there. It's been praised by the movie critic, Pauline Kael, Cahiers du Cinema. It also seems a little pretentious to me, personally. Seems a little pretentious. It's like real art house shit. So, you know, if you like stinky French cheese, this is the stinky French cheese of movies. This is the Limburger of films. And that might be your style. I'm not judging you. I drank almost a whole bottle of NyQuil. I'm not fit to judge anyone here, okay? I'm washing it down with a Sweetwater, which is a Georgia beer. There's an Atlanta beer here, folks. You knew it had to happen. Criterion is releasing Yojimbo and Sanjuro, the box set of films. You know, it's part 1 and part 2, basically. These are a film, Yojimbo, and its sequel, Sanjuro. And this is an inevitable 4K upgrade. This is a film that, or a set of 2 films that Criterion has released. You know, they released it on DVD many, many years ago, probably, you know, some 20, 24, 25 years ago, they released on DVD. So as Criterion does every month, they're bringing us movies that they previously sold to you years ago. They're bringing back in a new format. Hey, buy the shit again, motherfuckers. I know you bought it on DVD in 2001. Then you bought it on Blu-ray in 2010. But guess what? I got this 4K here. Last time you bought it on Blu-ray, that's 2Ks. That's only 2Ks. We got 4 fucking Ks for you now. So Criterion is trying to hope that you'll dip in again. You'll do the triple dip for the other 2Ks to bring it up to 4. You know, if you already bought the Blu-ray, they ought to only charge you for the other 2Ks, right? They shouldn't charge you for all 4Ks because you bought the first 2Ks a couple of years ago. It makes no sense to me, but I'm not a greedy man. It's probably why I don't run a business with any kind of success, okay? It is what it is. I didn't buy the 2K. I didn't buy the Blu-ray of Yojimbo and Sanjuro. I bought it on DVD. And, you know, in fairness, everybody wants 4K Kurosawa. So I'm not going to complain any more than that. It's an inevitable 4K upgrade. And if you're still buying Criterion Blu-rays, you're a sucker because it's coming out on 4K sooner or later. It's coming out on 4K. Not Silence of the Lambs, but the rest of them are going to come out on 4K sooner or later. So blame the NyQuil. Here's one that's very interesting to me, and that is JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, coming out in Blu-ray and 4K. So, you know, buy the 4K, though, people. I love Richard Pryor. I'm not going to mince words. I love Richard Pryor. This is the only film that he ever directed, which he also co-wrote and produced and starred in. So this is like the most concentrated Richard Pryor you're ever going to get. You're never going to get a more concentrated Richard Pryor. Wings Hauser is also in this bitch. Paul Mooney helped write the screenplay. So, you know, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. And honestly, the artwork to me is very good for this one. I think Criterion can be hit or miss in my subjective opinion on the artwork, but this one is very good. It's very striking in my opinion. I haven't always loved the Criterion artwork when it's you know, when it's graphic art, when it's like a drawing. Sometimes it's more cartoonish, in my opinion, than it should be, like Harold and Maude. Look at the cover for Harold and Maude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just kind of cartoonish. And to me, it doesn't represent the film quite as well as using a still image from the movie or something like that. I like the custom artwork, but I don't like it being so cartoonish. But here, we don't have that cartoonish interpretation, I guess. This is more painterly in its lines. It's very reminiscent of like a mosaic, almost like stained glass. It's very appropriate for a work of this nature. The mosaic motif, I think, is very appropriate for a work like JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. So it's very easy to look at the artwork. It's very pleasing to the eye, in my opinion, at least. It's very well composed, and it has a very it has a really wonderful texture to it. It's very textural. And I think that's achieved by that mosaic effect where, you know, some of the different, you know, pieces are they would be tiles in a mosaic have, you know, kind of different, you know, grain to them and different sort of pattern, which kind of creates this texture and sort of a 3D-ness of the image. Also, did you all know this? I don't think a lot of people know this. Richard Pryor did a fucking children's Saturday morning TV series for one season in 1984. Did y'all know about that? It was called Pryor's Place. It was real. You can look this up. I'm not lying. This is not a joke. You can verify what I'm saying. The fucking guy, this fucking guy had a children's show. The guy who lit himself on fire after freebasing cocaine. A mere 4 years later, he gets a knockoff Sesame Street show with his fucking name on it. It's crazy. I love it. Like, how much cocaine were they doing in the 80s that they thought this was cool? Like, I want to know how they pitched this shit. Like, hey, y'all remember that guy a few years ago? I mean, he's a pretty famous dude, Richard Pryor. He lit himself on fire smoking cocaine, freebasing cocaine. We're going to give him a kids show. We think that it would be good to put him up in front of children. I know it was only like 2.5 years ago he lit himself on fire, but bro, that is some wild shit. And as a drug enthusiast myself, this strikes me as the purest form of success that Richard Pryor could come out. I mean, he's making jokes in 1982 about how just a couple years earlier he lit himself on fire freebasing cocaine on the set of Stir Crazy, and a couple years later, bro has a children's show. That is the epitome of success. All that is to say that Richard Pryor is a fucking American legend. And if you don't know, this is your chance to know. Finally, we got one more title that I am pretty interested in. It is The Grifters, coming to 4K and Blu-ray, 1990 film, directed by a fella named Stephen Frears, who also directed John Cusack in High Fidelity about a decade later. John Cusack is in The Grifters as well, with Angelica Houston and Annette Bening. The Grifters is described as a neo-noir crime thriller, so, you know, I'm fucking sold. You had me at neo. Noir definitely helps, and crime thriller, I'm fully torqued. I am ready to fuck, boys. You better make me come, or I'm gonna kick your butt. By all indications, The Grifters was a success in its time, commercially as well as critically. Critics scored the film very well. Roger Ebert definitely fingered his vagina over The Grifters a lot. He liked it a lot. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. 4 Academy Awards. Best Director for Frears, Best Actress for Angelica Houston, Best Supporting Actress for Annette Bening, go fuck yourself, John Cusack, and Best Adapted Screenplay. It didn't win any of those nominations, unfortunately. You know, unfortunately, Dances with Wolves just came in and just cleaned everybody up. It was unfortunate because I think some of the films that lost that year, Goodfellas lost that year to Dances with Wolves. Jesus Christ. But you should buy this shit anyway, you know? Go do them a solid. Go buy this movie, because I'm going to do it. So anyway, holla at me. Tell me what you think about the tell me what you think about the Criterion releases announced for January of 2025. That's like a whole new year. If we make it that far, guys. I'm recording this on election night. Who knows what's going to happen? Hence the entire bottle of NyQuil. I mean, you see what kind of good mood I'm in, obviously. Or just let me know if this was completely unintelligible. Like, hit me in the comment section and tell me that I just had too much. Also, like, what do you think about this flannel I stole from my dad? This is fucking Eddie Bauer. This is going to keep me warm in fucking Maine when I return. It's nice and soft. It's very blue collar, but it's like blue collar chic because it's like Eddie Bauer. It's like I want to look blue collar, but also I got like white collar money, that's my vibe to a T, to a T. Thanks for watching. I love you. I'm gonna go smoke this cigar now. I didn't want to blow the smoke in y'all's faces, so I'm waiting until after the video to light it, but I'll catch you later.